Sometimes we find ourselves in places where we no longer feel needed, and that feeling is both freeing and painful. We realize that everything we thought was essential, every connection we once believed was irreplaceable, can be let go of, because at the end of the day, we are all capable of walking our paths alone. It's a hard truth to swallow, but the reality is that sometimes the people we cling to and the relationships we fight for might not even need us in the way we imagine. They go on living, thriving, while we learn the quiet lesson of being okay with being replaced. There comes a moment in life when you understand that you are strong enough to exist without someone by your side. The love and reliance you once thought you couldn't live without fades into the understanding that you are your own support system. I spent so much time thinking I needed someone else to complete me, only to realize that the only person who ever needed me was myself. It's an eye-opening experience when you see that the only true dependency is on your own strength. It's easy to believe we are indispensable, that the world would crumble without us. But in reality, people move on, they grow, they adapt, and they keep moving forward, even without us in the picture. The hardest realization is that sometimes the people you care about the most don't need you the way you need them. They continue their lives, unburdened by the weight of your emotions, while you are left to reflect on your own worth. The truth is, you don't need me in your life. It hurts to admit, but sometimes love and companionship aren't enough to make someone stay. It's the quiet moments of realization that teach us that we can stand on our own, even when we thought we couldn't. Perhaps it's not about being needed. Maybe it's about learning how to thrive on your own. Maybe the people we think we need the most are the ones who teach us how to be independent, how to find peace within ourselves. I once thought I was a necessary part of your world, but now I see that life has a way of moving forward, with or without our involvement. The truth is, we all have the strength to go on without anyone else, even when it feels like we can't. There's a strange kind of liberation in realizing that someone doesn't need you. It's not rejection, but a freeing realization that you are capable of standing tall on your own. You learn that your worth isn't tied to being needed by someone else. It's a harsh realization that the connection we fought for can fade into the background, overshadowed by time and circumstance. You don't need me in your life, and perhaps that's the greatest lesson I can learn. Letting go is sometimes the most loving thing we can do. In a world where we often feel we must be needed to feel valued, it's enlightening to understand that we are enough without someone else. You don't need me, and that's okay. I can finally accept that truth and move forward with a sense of peace. When you realize that someone doesn't need you anymore, it's not a personal rejection. It's just a reminder that life changes, people grow, and we are all just temporary characters in each other's stories. It's a beautiful yet painful moment when you understand that you don't need someone as much as you thought you did. You realize that the love you once thought was irreplaceable is actually just one chapter in your life's story. We often tie our sense of worth to the people who need us, but what happens when we're not needed anymore? The truth is, we are capable of surviving the loss, and it's in that survival that we discover our true strength. I thought I was the missing piece in your puzzle, but I now see that the puzzle was complete without me. It's a humbling realization, one that teaches me that life moves on, and we all have our own paths to walk. You don't need me to feel whole, and that's something I'm learning to accept. Maybe the most important lesson in life is to realize that no matter how deeply we love someone, we are all ultimately responsible for our own happiness. The feeling of being unnecessary is difficult, but it is also an opportunity for growth. When we realize that we're not needed in the way we thought, we can begin to rediscover ourselves, independent of anyone else's expectations. I once thought my presence in your life was vital, but now I understand that people move forward. They find new paths and they create new connections. The beauty lies in knowing that our lives can continue to flourish without the need of anyone else. The moment I accepted that you didn't need me as much as I thought, I began to understand the freedom that comes with being my own person. It's a lesson that we all must learn. No one else can define our worth.